Hi, Blake Matthews here from Florida Orienteering. This is the first in a series of short videos concerning the use of the Livelox tool, which we're very excited to be deploying at our events now. Livelox is a tool for GPS logging with smartphones. It allows you to record pretty much every aspect of your run from start to finish. It records everywhere you go and how fast you're moving. And at the end, you can then upload this to the website and look at it after the fact. You can use it for post-game analysis, go in and replay it, analyze it, look at your choices, see what you could have done better or worse. There's all kinds of things you can do with it. This particular video is going to be more of just of a teaser video, though, to show you the replay, kind of the eye candy aspect of the tool that lets you replay the event after the fact with your track as well as those of other people who have recorded tracks on your same course. So without further ado, let me just get right into it. This is the Florida Orienteering website, www.floridaorienteering.org. This is the home page here, and on the left you have the nav bar. Over here on the third link down, this is the link you want. It's the OR-SI results link. This is the link for all the results for all the electronic timing that we do. And you can see here we have a list of all of our events, reverse chronological order, most recent at the top. And every one of them has 4 links out here to the side. The results link, of course, is just the results of the meet, who ran what course and what their time was. Splits browser shows you splits times from one control to the next in a graphical format. Very useful for analyzing your performance, so we'll get to that in another video. And then Route Gadget and Livelox are both tools for GPS track analysis. As you can see, we've been using Route Gadget for some time. That's the older version of the tool. It's a little more manual, but the Livelox tool is the new one that I want to cover today. So I'm going to pick the Wekiva Springs Flow Championship event. We had a lot of participation in that event. I'm just going to click on the Livelox link here, and that brings up the list of courses that we offered at that event, their lengths, and then the number of participants that recorded tracks on that particular course. I'm going to look at the green course because we have 10 tracks to play with. You just click the replay link there, and that will load the map, overlay the course on it, and then suck in all of the tracks that people recorded. In this window, of course, you have the map out here with the course overlaid on it. You can see the control circles with the numbers here. Over here on the left, you have the list of all the people who recorded tracks for that event, and they're in shortest time order. So you see the shortest time, the winners of the of that course at the top. Up here in the top left, you have your playback controls. And over here in the top right, there's some other controls for controlling the visuals of the display, and we'll get to all of that. So just to get started here, you can see that it has overlaid avatars for each of the people who recorded a track, and they're labeled by first initial and second 2 letters, or first 2 letters of the last name, and they're positioned initially wherever you pressed start on the recorder in the Livelox app. You can see that this person here pressed start after they had actually started. It's a pretty common thing to forget, and somewhere in your first leg you remember and press start. So they don't always necessarily start at the exact same spot, but in theory they should. Obviously we can start the playback here either with this play button or this one up here in the top left corner. If you click that, it'll start playing back the race. The avatars move as the GPS track says they actually moved in real life, and of course they move at the rate that the track says that they moved. You'll see that each avatar trails a little tail behind it that's color-coded to match the color assigned to it over here in the list at the left. And you can actually control a lot of elements of this playback. In the top left corner here, we have a slider that indicates the speed of the playback. By dragging this across, we can play it back a little faster. Here we have the time index, so this is 4 minutes 11 seconds into the race. And this long gray bar here is the playback indicator showing you how far into the race you've gone. And you can just click on this to fast forward to different parts of the race. But for the moment, I'm just going to start it back at the beginning and play back from there. Now, if I pause here, there are other things we can control as well. Up here on the right-hand side, there's a little gear box button up here for settings. If you click that, it has this pull-out that shows all the different things you can touch. The size slider, of course, makes the size of the avatars and their tracks grow and shrink, so you can make that bigger or smaller. Opacity means transparency of the tracks. I usually set that down to about 70%, and you'll see that makes the avatars and their tracks slightly translucent, so you can see the map features underneath without being obscured. The other thing you can control here is the tail length. If you grab that, you'll see the tails grow and shrink in size. And in many cases, you want to drag it all the way over to so it shows infinity on the tail length, so you see the entire tail. If I play a little bit more here, you can see that means the tails don't chase the avatars. They just stretch out from start to finish and never go away. The other thing you can control here is the color. Initially, the tail is colored according to the avatar color, same color you see over here in the list. But you can check this drop down and choose color coded, and then it will color the track. I'm going to turn the opacity back up here so you can see it more clearly. It will color the track according to their speed. In the areas where the track is green, that indicates fast movement. In areas where it's red, that indicates slow movement, and yellow, orange is, of course, in between. So you can see not only where they went, but also how fast they were moving at each point. The only downside of this color coding is that it pulls a lot of data through the web link. So if you try to play back the track with that engaged, you'll see it's kind of choppy and it loses the smooth playback there. So when I'm doing a big playback like this with a whole lot of tracks displayed, I'll usually leave this in monochrome mode just because it makes the playback a lot more smooth, as you can see. This particular display is really just kind of eye candy, showing what the race looks like from a bird's eye view. The color coding showing the speed is really something you use for the more detailed analysis that I'll show in another video. Now you'll notice that as the playback proceeds, the display pans and zooms to be able to show everything that's happening, and you want to be able to see all of the individual runners and where they're going. And you can control the panning as well. This button here, if you click it, it has a drop down under it, and you can either turn off the panning or set it to follow all visible participants, which is the default. That means the display grows and shrinks in order to show everyone all the time. Or you can pick a particular track and set it to follow that selected participant. And then if you play back, you'll see that the display pans and follows that particular person. There it goes. And shows the course and the race from their point of view. That's kind of cool as well. But for the eye candy aspect of seeing the whole race, you generally want to have it in this larger mode where you can see everything. So the nice thing about this playback is that it synchronizes the race as if it were a mass start. If I kind of wind this back to the beginning, you'll see that even though in real life we take pains to see to it that you're not on the course at the same time, we stagger the starts. We want to make sure that if possible you don't see other participants so you can't follow or be followed. But the nice thing about this is that with all of those tracks in there, the computer can resynchronize everything and play it back as if it were a mass start, and that kind of gives you that that competitive head-to-head feel to the race again, which is really kind of cool. This is a great way to showcase the competitive nature of orienteering to people who don't know what it is. So you can play this back on the website and show your friends, your parents, your instructors what you do when you're orienteering, and they can kind of get a feel for what the event is really like and the excitement of the competition. So that's the description of the playback, and as I said, there are other things you can do with this, and I'm going to have other videos that show more detail about how to use this for track analysis and training and so forth. But that is the playback. So hope you'll look at this and think it's cool, and that will encourage you to participate and record tracks the next time you come out to orienteer with us.